So once you go through your 5 whys exercise, you develop that very, very clear purpose, mission-driven statement. Now we're going to need to identify our strategic priorities and our vehicles for change. And I love this analogy, and thank you, Laurel, for creating this beautiful graphic for me, is that when we are developing our strategic plan, we will have our current state. Where do we want, we'll have our future state. Where do we want to go? We've got that impact roadmap. We have that purpose-driven mission statement, and we should have some targets. Like we want to, the example that I just shared, they had a very big vision that they wanted to make sure that the amount of people receiving home and community-based care was 80%, and only 20% were receiving nursing home level care. And it was actually flipped at the time. So that was a big goal, that they wanted to flip the ratio of people who are receiving long-term quality care in their own homes versus in nursing homes. That's a pretty big goal. So they had a clear vision of what they wanted with clear metrics related to their outcomes, but then they knew their current state. They knew that it, like I said, it was flipped. So think about your future state. What is that big, hairy, audacious goal? Can you put metrics around it? One of our clients, Lori Lay Bellhumor in Western Youth Services, she's got a very big goal. Right now, 1 in 5 young people have diagnosed mental health issues. Her big goal is to get that to 1 in 10 in this generation, right? Very, very big goal. She knows what her organization's metrics are in the current state. So you'll have, so think if there's a bridge. There's a bridge between your current state and your future state. The next thing we need to think about are, what are those strategic priorities, those lanes? I like to think of our strategic focus areas are the lanes across the bridge, and our vehicles are our vehicles are going to be our activities. So you can think of your lanes. If you're using SureImpact or you're a SureImpact user, you can think of your lanes as your programs, and you can think of your vehicles as your services, your outputs. What do you do to achieve those outcomes? So you might have a bicycle, you might have a bus, you might have a semi-truck, you might have a car, you might have a truck, right? So you've got different ways to achieve this goal, but we need to make sure that we identify those priorities, those programs, and then our cars or our trucks, our activities that we do to get there. So we need to make sure, and so many times organizations haven't thought through their theory of change or thought through their logic. But we want to make sure we have effective program model that if you're explaining this to a funder, they can clearly understand, okay, that's your mission-driven purpose statement, and I see how your programs and your activities align to those outcomes that you say that you're achieving. So think about your own roadmap. Can you clearly articulate, okay, that's where we're going, this is where we are, and here are our programs, and here are our services, and these services will and do contribute to that purpose-driven mission statement. And we need to collect the right data to prove that we have an effective model. So we want to make sure that we have data related to our outputs, because our outputs are really counts of our activities under those programs. We want to make sure we have those quality metrics, because those quality metrics are often what the person that you're serving wants. Is they want, culturally responsive programming. They want programming that is during a time that's convenient for them. They want to feel respected. They want to feel valued. They want to be receiving the services that they actually need that solve their problem, right? So we need quality data to make sure that we are doing the right activities and services, because we could be putting a lot of vehicles across that bridge and not getting the results we want. And that was one of the very first programs I ever evaluated, was at the juvenile courts, where we learned that we were cohorting kids onto a vehicle. So think about, we were putting them all on a bus, sending them across the bridge, and we were actually learning that we were getting higher rates of recidivism than if a judge just said, go home, don't do this again. So we knew, we would not have known unless we evaluated our impact that was happening. So we need to make sure we have the data to prove that we have effective program model, not just a theory, but have the real data that links what we do with how well we do it to how people are better off.